Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Unplugged and Uncut, the new source for sports news and entertainment. You are live with your boy Unique, and today we're going to get into Lonnie Walker, the contract extension, what it might look like, and what might the Spurs do overall with Lonnie Walker. Lots of options. We're going to get into that and a whole lot more. But before we get started, if you have not taken the time to hit that subscribe button, please do. It really helps out our channel. And we are also giving away a PlayStation 5 with the game of your choice. Once we hit 100,000 subscribers, all you got to do to be entered to win is be an active subscriber and leave comments in the comments section. But without further ado, let's get into the Lonnie Walker, the fourth contract extension situation. Lonnie Walker IV is a very talented player, and he started to blossom and play really well with more consistency over the last quarter of the season. However, the question is, did he show enough to warrant a contract extension? And what does that extension look like? Does he fit into the Spurs plan and the current timeline? So there's multiple questions the Spurs have to ask themselves. Now, the first part of that is the Spurs will seem to be in a position of being able to replicate what Lonnie Walker IV brings. Kind of. He's a good shooting guard, but that is not a position of need for the San Antonio Spurs with Devin Vassell, Joshua Primo, Josh Richardson, and technically even Romeo Langford able to man the shooting guard position. You're armed with 4 draft picks. There's also rumblings of Zach LaVine. There's players like Victor Oladipo out there. So there are a lot of options the Spurs have at shooting guard. Is Lonnie Walker in a position of need? So with Devin Vassell entrenched in the starting lineup, the next question might be, how much trust do you put in Joshua Primo to improve? And that's something we're going to have to see. That's not something you could just predict on how much a player is going to improve. If you think Joshua Primo is going to take that next step in his second year, you might feel like Lonnie Walker IV is getting a little redundant. However, Lonnie Walker IV is a very explosive scorer when he gets it going and has a capability in next level scoring that he might be the only one to possess on the Spurs. Now, he's flashed it multiple times, but I can just see Lonnie Walker going for 50 in one of these games soon. He's got that type of explosive scoring punch. Once that green light goes off in his head and he removes any type of self-doubt and he just goes and gets it, I can see a 50-point game in this man's future. So that's why I say we kind of have, or not we, but the Spurs kind of have the players needed to replace him, but I don't know how much of a bucket getter Devin Vassell is. I think he's an efficient scorer, but I don't think he's a number one scorer. Now, DeJounte Murray is the Spurs' leading scorer and the number one caliber scorer. But if you're thinking of bringing a Zach LaVine type player in, maybe you're still looking for a more dominant number one scorer. And that's the type of potential that Lonnie Walker has. He has not reached that potential, and he still has a ways to go, mostly in consistency. Now, here we go. If was a fifth. So, if you feel Jay Richardson and the bench mob don't have a go-to scorer, then you might decide Lonnie Walker is indispensable, at least for now. Coming in that 6-man spot, even a spot-up starter. He's a great fit in the locker room, in the community, and he works hard. He works very hard on his game. And once again, if that green light goes off in his head, y'all, he is ready to go next level as a scorer. And his defense isn't bad as well. It's kind of like his offense. It comes and it goes. Some games he's really excellent on defense. some games it's like, Lonnie, what you doing? Lonnie, what are you doing? So, if you think he could fulfill that 6-man spot and spot starter, and it does click for him, he might push Devin Vassell back to the bench. That is right. He has that type of potential to assert himself as a go-to scorer and put himself in position to be a starter for any team. So what does a fair contract look like? Let's say Lonnie Walker put that work in on consistency, his effort, and his efficiency. Those are the next steps for him, and he's putting that work in. What does a fair contract look like? Maybe something broken down like this: a 3-year, $30 million deal, starting at $9 million, going up $1 million each year. So it'll go 9, 10, 11. That'll be his base contract. And I say base because you could also put some incentives in there to have him playing for, to reach that potential, to help him unlock that potential. And some of the type of incentives you could put in there to help him strive to reach his overall potential and increase his payday could be like if you reach an all-star team, an all-NBA team, or NBA selection, offense or defense, 6th Man of the Year award. Those type of individual awards could lead to some type of incentive. Something based around his points per game average to include field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, and effective field goal percentage. Because if you're taking good 2-point shots, Lonnie Walker's going to knock those down as long as he's taking good shots. I expect his effective field goal percentage to be good enough, and that type of incentive makes him go get it. It's going to make him work for that extra bread. And let's just be real. He's going to want to work for that extra money, and he's going to put together an effective package because he has the tools. Sometimes it's just using them efficiently. And it's something else, the last thing, type of incentive you could do, maybe something built around if the Spurs make the playoffs with you on the roster. So those are 3 different types of incentives you could help increase that base pay. But 3 years, 30 million, starting 9, 10, 11, break it down like that, I think could be a fair offer. Now, the next situation you come to, if you are the Spurs, if you were going to draft a shooting guard, you're picking up Zach LaVine or a Victor Oladipo type shooting guard. Are we going to see a sign and trade? Will the Spurs match? What if the Spurs see the market's only saying his range is 4 to 7 million? Do you not match that? Even if you pick up a Zach LaVine, that way you have that scoring punch off the bench? I don't know. That raises some valuable questions, guys. I'd like to see what you think. So the market can go the other way as well. So this is the least likely scenario, I think. But let's say he receives an offer of $13 to $15 million. Something comparable to what DeJounte's first contract looked like. Is that an offer the Spurs are willing to match? Maybe another team sees what we see, a player with a lot of scoring potential and even defensive potential that comes and goes. Interesting question. So do the Spurs let the market dictate how they value, and not value, how they approach the situation? Because I'm sure they value Lonnie Walker. If they didn't value Lonnie Walker, they wouldn't have kept him this long already. So lots of interesting questions. Needless to say, it's going to be fun to see how the Lonnie Walker situation plays out. I think this year's draft and free agency are going to be a key role, and we are in for a fun ride. That is right, everyone. It's just too much going on. It's going to be too much fun. And I can't wait to see what you all think about what the Spurs should do with Lonnie Walker. Because I think these questions and the different pricing points that we might see his contract come in are all valid. But I really want to get into what you all might think could happen with Lonnie Walker and this situation going forward with the Spurs. But thank you everyone for tuning in and listening to what possibly might be going on with the Spurs and the Lonnie Walker, the 4th contract extension. And y'all have a great day, because your boy is out. Peace.